Hey y'all! And welcome to the Sorry Not Sorry Generation podcast, where we bring you a not-so-healthy dose of humor and reality as we get our hands dirty with some serious nostalgia and question everything.
Let's dive in.
Hey y'all, it's Misty. Just a little announcement right here at the beginning of the episode. This is the continuation of session 1 of our D&D campaign. It was split into 2 episodes. We recorded it all in one sitting. It was supposed to be just 1 episode, but we had technical difficulties, so we had to split it into 2 in order to maintain our sound quality. And so this episode is just going to start right off into the second part of session 1. So if you haven't listened to the first part, please go back and listen to it. Otherwise, this isn't going to make a lot of sense. But thank you so much for, being cool with all of this. And we really just wanted to make sure that our sound quality was on point for you guys. And it was such a huge difference in sound quality if we put them together that we didn't want to do that. And so we want to maintain a good output for you guys. So enjoy, go listen to part 1 if you haven't already, and enjoy the rest of session 1. Thank you. Okay.
This is fucking
Yeah.
Costco.
Change the map. There we are. New map.
Look, and our little.
Oh my god, look at us.
We have little tokens now. So I'm zoomed in this close. 1, so you can see the tokens. 2, because there's a second half map.
Not to give
and
anything away.
Yeah. Just note that all of these little squares here, that's 5 feet.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a 5 feet.
5 feet.
5 feet of distance. So, that's just something to remember because it's gonna come into play. Because as we start this off, roll initiative.
Let me get out of the way.
10.
20.
Natural.
No. I got 19 plus 1.
Gotcha. All right, Jazz is at 13, and that puts Val at your top of the initiative order. So here's what's going to happen. You guys are sneaking out of the tower and are sneaking out of the city, and you're going through the tunnels and everything. And now that you are sneaking out, you remember how you snuck out in the session 0 and you had to watch for the guards and everything like that. But obviously,
Right.
you don't have to do that. Instead of watching for the guards, you're watching for the Illithids, which are now, because you have to sneak out, but where the tunnel comes out is on the other side of the wall, but you can see the wall, which means you can see the Illithid army. So I'm going to have everyone roll a stealth check, because we're going to do a group stealth check.
14.
And Asha?
My sheet is not. Oh, there we go. I got a 20, not a natural one. 19 plus 1.
Okay. Both Val and Jazz, who rolled a natural 1, got under 15, which means you do fail and you are spotted. Yeah, which isn't great. But as you are trying to sneak out, and there's so many enemies, though. There's thousands of them marching on this city, and as you're trying to sneak out, it's pretty much inevitable that one of them is going to look over at you, and you see this giant creature. It's humanoid in figure, but it has tentacles on its face, and it's got this long spindly hand. Think face wise Davy Jones.
I was thinking my Davy Jones.
But instead of where it's underneath the mouth and a beard, it's over it, and the mouth part comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not great. But you see it, and as you look and you clock it, it clocks you, and it reaches up a hand and tilts its head in a unnatural angle, and it just goes, and it looks at you. And as it makes this, what you assume is a language, a speech or something, a bunch, about 5 creatures around it, at the same time, all of their heads turn and snap and look directly at you too, and you are now being pursued by a group of 6 in total. It is 1 Illithid Mind Flayer, 2 Drider, and a couple of creatures you've never seen before. So that's something terrifying for you. And I'm going to have, so now that we're in initiative, As you take off running, what's going to happen, because this is a chase, is the idea is to get not get caught, basically, is you need to run as fast as you can to try and avoid it while traversing the terrain, avoiding any traps, any monsters, and things like that that you might encounter. All right, so this encounter's a little different, and it is a chase, like I was telling Aaron.
Mhm.
So the Jazara, as you're running through the tunnels, is yelling at you both. She says, "We'll have to go to the surface. We can't go to the middle dark or the lower dark. There's just going to be more of these creatures. We'll have to go to the surface world."
The surface?
We've never been to the surface.
I've been to the surface a couple times. I've never explored very far as a part of the patrol, but we don't have a choice. Our other choice is to go deeper into the Underdark, and that's where these things are from. Our only choice is whatever's left of the surface. Our people don't explore the surface for a reason. We have no idea what it happened to it after the calamity. But we don't have a choice. There could be nothing up there. There could be civilizations beyond our comprehension up there. There could be something far worse than we could imagine. But we don't have a choice because we know what's down here. So,
You say so.
you've been to the surface a very few times in the times that you've snuck out. You've never fully explored, but Jazara's taken you to the entrance before. So the pathway that she takes you through the tunnels is familiar, if not something you would do. It's not something you would do every day. It wouldn't be something you do once a month. It might be something that happens a couple times a year when you can sneak out for multiple days at a time, because it takes more than a day to get to the surface. And so you start running, and you reach the top of one of the crystalline hallways at the top of the stairs, which is where you are now in our map. And Val, you are first. And this is a point to note your running speed, your speed in general. So I will go over a little D&D mechanic for you real quick. If you look at your walking speed, which is at the top, for instance, mine says 30. I think Val, yours says 30 as well. I think Ash's is 35. That is how much you move in a normal round of combat. You'll move 30 feet. However, in a round, you can take what is known as a dash action, and you can double that distance. You cannot take any attacks, you can't cast spells, you can't do things like that when you do this, because that is your full main action. But instead of moving 30 feet, you move 60 feet. And in this instance, as you are running away from people trying to kill you, it's probably your best course of action. Okay? So, I'm going to move over to my little map. And Valkyria, are you running? Are you laying on the floor? Are you doing a little jig? What you gonna do?
I don't want to run because that'll probably
You are actively being chased.
Oh, okay, then I'm fucking running.
Yeah. So you are actively being chased by a group of 6 things.
I was gonna be like power walking, but no, yes, I am running.
Yeah, they did fully spot you. They're either going to try and kill you, or they're going to enslave you, take the key from you, and destroy your entire city. So
yeah, I'm running.
Okay.
With my staff in hand. Yeah, we're going.
All right, just straight down the stairs, down the platform, and everything. Just going as fast as you can.
Yep.
All right.
To whatever leads me towards away.
Full dash action. Double your speed.
Yeah.
That'll get you to about the bottom, almost the bottom of the stairs. You're almost fully at the bottom of the stairs. And
watch, I'm gonna end up just in front of a bunch more enemies.
And just so you know, every round of these combats, the entire total is 6 seconds. Just so you're aware.
Okay.
So it's not like this is taking minutes at a time to run downstairs. It's single. So.
Because wow, we're slow.
Oh,
yeah. It's just we crawled.
The good thing this is fake.
Yeah, we crawled down the stairs is what we did. And Jazara, who's up next at initiative 13, is going to do the same. And she was 1 in front of you, so I'm going to put her right here. She makes it to the very bottom of the stairs. And Asha and bad guys got the same initiative. So I'm going to keep track of how close the bad guys are getting to you, because they're also taking a dash. There's a certain amount of distance behind you. So if you guys get delayed too many times, or you can't dash, the amount of distance between you guys is slowly going to close. So It's important to try and keep ahead of them. But it is their turn. And I'm going to mark that, because they are getting... At this point, the distance is probably... As long as you're dashing, and you don't encounter anything, like the distance should more or less stay the same. But once you hit like difficult terrain and things like that, or get into a fight, things are going to impact your movement. Asha, you going to run as well?
Yes. Well, that's like because I am not used to things chasing me in my normal everyday to day life. It's quite boring. I keep looking behind me over my shoulder, which is always not a great idea.
Okay.
While running on stairs,
And
but
as you're running down the stairs, like you're holding this now new heavy shield as well.
yes,
And you're like running around, and you feel very like frazzled and disorganized as you're running down, and like you hit that first platform, and as you step on the second one, your foot starts to slip. You regain your balance, but because you were looking behind
Sounds
you
about
at the incoming army, and you like start to slip, and then because you're all running at the same time, and Val might grab your arm to help steady you as you all just like book it down these stairs. So I'm gonna put you right about there at the top of her. Now I'm gonna have all of you make a perception check for me.
9.
Also 9.
Of course. Of course. Jazara
We're not very perceptive.
Jazara got a
today.
21, so she doesn't run into it. But Val, as you are at the top of the initiative order and you don't see it, you, darling, do run right into the giant spider web.
Oh.
And when I say giant spider web, I don't mean, oh, this is a large spider. I mean, this is a probably about a 20-foot concoction of very thick spider webs. And I need you
my first image of it was the thing from Lord of the Rings, so...
Yeah. This is exactly what it is. Congratulations. Okay. Jazara does see it, so she doesn't get caught in it, and she is going to sacrifice her taking a dash action for grabbing Asha so she doesn't get caught in it too. So Asha, you are yanked right before you go face first into it.
I imagine a skittering action of my own, trying to slam on the brakes.
I can just hear myself cursing up a storm. Motherfucking, are you? God!
Spiderwebs! And Jazara is going to look back. She looks back to see, and like she can hear them coming, but you can't quite see them yet. And Valkyria, make me a dexterity saving throw, please. See how stuck you are.
6. I'm stuck.
You're super stuck. You are super stuck. So,
Jazz, a little help.
Fuck. Okay. And Jazz is going
Please.
Jazara is going to try and make a strength check to try and pull you out. Now, even if she succeeds, and she's going to have to like start pulling out the web. And Asha, if you would like to help as well, you can give her advantage, and you guys can both start pulling the webbing apart, not only to free Valkyria, but to make a path for yourselves as well. You want to do that?
Yes.
Guys, this shit is gross. Come on.
Fuck, we gotta go.
I don't want to become dinner for this spider.
And you do hear some skittering, and you don't even bother looking for it. You just your life can't get worse at this point.
Please, guys, come on.
So she's gonna make a strength check, and so that is a non-natural 20. So she, between Asha and Jazara, like they pull the webbing apart, and they manage to it takes a lot of strength, but Jazara reaches her over to Val, and she just one hand on the strap of your bag, and the other hand just where your belt is, and just pulls with all of her might, and it shoves all three of you just forward past the webbing.
That's how I got Geneva out of that pit one time.
That is exactly how I got Geneva out of that pit.
Grabbed her and pulled.
Guys, I don't think I say it enough, but I love you. Thank you.
Well, let's not let
the
day
have a love fest later.
Yeah, let's not die right now. Let's go.
Jazara looks at you both and says, "Run! Fucking run!" And
running.
And all of you, now the enemy did gain on you a bit because you did lose the ability to take a dash action at that point, so they are slightly, they're about 35 feet closer to you than they were before.
Great.
And you run down out the stairs and into the main caverns that start to lead into the larger part of the Underdark. you're up here. So you come out into this platform, and this is starting to get into open cavern space at this point. There's stairs on a thin platform that leads down. There are several other staircases that lead down further into the Underdark, and some of them branch off into different directions. Some of them branch off into just like broken halls and things like that. And Jazara points forward, and you more or less know where you're going because you've done this before. But she points you down which staircase to run down. And Val, you running?
Yeah, I'm running.
All right.
You tell me where to go, and I'm running.
And then I'm assuming both girls are running too. Ashley, you running?
I am booking. Yeah.
All right.
No, Ashley just wants to stay behind
and I've stopped looking behind me because it's not doing me any favors.
Fair enough. You didn't slip on any stairs this time, so that's good. Make me a perception check, both of you.
Okay, so 25.
17.
Is that a natural 20?
Yes.
Yes. Always tell me when you get a natural 20 or a natural
Okay.
1. Fun things happen then.
Natural
Sometimes for me, sometimes for you.
It's always a surprise.
What did you get, Val?
17.
17. Okay. All of you spot the very unfortunate cloaker that comes out from around the corner.
no.
And
Cloaker.
it looks kind of like a giant shadow stingray, as it like its wings almost like floof back and forth, and it floats up over the side, and it is sitting up there, and it is staring at you because you have awoken it with the noise of running down the stairs, and you have a choice of either entering combat with it or booking it and having something else possibly chase you as well. I will roll initiative for the creature. Creature is at 16. And Val, it is your turn. You can choose to fight the creature. You can choose to keep running. If you get within 5 feet of it, it does have an opportunity attack. So if you go down the stairs, it does get a chance to swipe at you in the process. But knowing
I'm going to attack it.
You're going to attack it? What you going to attack it with? So you've got
Aha, there they are.
You can do cantrips, you can do leveled spells, you can do whichever one you would like.
Remind me again what thaumaturgy was?
Thaumaturgy is like you can do a small sound, like a boom or something.
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
okay. So has the creature seen us or just heard us?
Yes. No, it's seen you.
It's seen me.
you.
Okay. So I'm gonna use. What? Okay, because I'm gonna get ahead of myself. What can I do with minor illusion?
Minor illusion, you can make something appear in your hand, like a pile of gold.
Okay,
You can make
so
a
I can't.
scroll appear.
Okay, I can't like make an illusion of myself.
With minor illusion, I don't. Yeah, it can't be larger than 5 feet. So you could make an illusion of a creature, but the creature is still fully able to see that you are there. So if you
Okay,
wanted
so
to, like,
I'm using ice knife. Tossing my knife.
Do you want to use Ice Knife or Chill Touch? One's a leveled spell and takes the spell slot, the other one doesn't. Either way is up to you. I just want to make sure you know which spell you're using.
Screw it, we'll do chill touch. We'll save the spell.
Okay. So you are going to roll your d20 and then add 5 to hit, because you have to hit the creature first.
9.
You miss.
This thing hates me.
So you summon this magical skeletal icy hand and you fling it at the creature, and because it's partially made of smoke, it just kind of passes through it and it has no effect on it. And it did roll really high on its initiative, so it's now its turn. And it makes 2 attacks, and the first one of which is going to try and bite you because you did try to attack it. And it only gets a 10 in total, so it does miss you. So like you jerk back as this creepy shadow stingray tries to bite you in the face. But as it leans forward, its tail comes up and it tries to stab with its stinger at Jazara with a, man, you guys are gonna like this dice. That was a 6. So it misses both of you. And it is now Jazara's turn. She looks at this giant, terrible creature, and she's like, you know what? Fuck it. And Jazara takes out her longbow, and she's going to attack it with a... Yeah, that's a 26 to hit. And it's 1d8 plus 3. She hits the creature for 4 points of damage. And Asha, it's your turn.
All right, I am going to use Sacred Flame, which is a cantrip.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
And then do I add anything?
For you, I believe so. Let me look at it. Sacred Flame, you hit the creature just has to make a dexterity saving throw. So I have to pass a 13 or higher. I don't with an 11. So you hit it with Sacred Flame, and you can roll me 1d8 of damage.
My baby has taken over Asha's dice.
Yeah, to get faster. It's the slightly larger pyramid? No.
The D8 is this one.
The one that looks like a diamond.
Oh, okay.
The one that I was sucking on last time.
Oh, God. Okay.
Inappropriate thing to do with your dice, but okay.
I spilled chocolate on it, alright? I didn't have a napkin around.
Okay, that's fair.
5.
Oh, that's valid. What did you get?
5.
5? Alright.
Mm-hmm.
The creature roars back at you, and it takes a swoop over you as it repositions itself, and now instead of being over here, it has swooped up to be on the same platform as you. It's still hovering in the air because it floats, but it has moved itself around, so now it's directly in front of Asha.
Well, shit.
Oh, I thought I pissed it off. You just made it worse.
I mean, you didn't actually hit it. Asha did. Val, it's your turn.
Alright. Oh, do I run down or do I keep fighting? I'm gonna keep fighting. I can't leave you all behind, even though I'm the one that's supposed to get out.
Go for it. What are you gonna attack it with?
Okay, did that first. I'm gonna throw my ice knife at it. Like,
Okay.
we gotta down this guy.
All right. So your first level spell, which is cool, and let me pull that up so I can talk you through that one. So you're gonna roll to hit. So roll your d20, add 5.
12.
12. Let's see.
That sucks. My dice don't like me.
Well, it does miss. However, it embeds itself in the wall behind it, and it does explode, and it will take residual damage from the fact that it explodes. And
That
it
works.
will. So it has to succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage. That is an 8. It does not do well. So go ahead and roll me 2d6, please.
4.
Okay.
4.
8. Fantastic. And the creature is very injured at this point. Some of its smoke starts to dissipate, and it's pissed, but it's done. It's like, fuck you. It hasn't fallen yet, but it is like, you know what? This is not worth my time. And it flies off over the ridge, and you are out of combat with it.
Goodbye. Nice playing with you. Thank you for entertaining us.
It does not agree. But okay.
Sorry I hurt you.
Alright, you have lost now 3 rounds of distance. So they are catching up with you. And you can see coming up at the top of the stairs is a bunch of the zombie creatures.
Oh, fuck.
And they're roaring as they look for you. So you gonna book it? Keep going?
Oh, we're booking it.
We're
It's
running.
like they can smell us.
Mm-hmm. Bet you they can.
What did I say about wearing your overly dramatic perfume?
If you can't wear overly dramatic perfume during a chase, then what's the point?
Surviving, living.
Well,
Well, clearly
I
you've
suppose.
never lived.
The audacity on this one, honey. Do you know how
It's
to
like
use that shield?
We're
I
running
can
for our
actually
lives,
do
and we're
that.
debating whether or not you should wear perfume.
It's truly a group of best friends.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so as you run down this stairs and the enemy is now so much closer than it was before. Whereas before, as you had gone down a corridor and taken a turn, you could see it. Now they are not that far behind you, and they're at the top of the stairs of the room you have just exited. And as you go through a side tunnel and to get to an exit, Jazara is in front, and she leads you to this chamber that is no longer stone, but it is dirt and water. And there's it's giant, what would be puddles, but they're all connected and just these little mini islands of land. And you can roll me Valkyria, because you're first, a perception check. Just go ahead and roll me a perception check real quick.
$11.
11. Darling, do you keep running?
No.
What are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna hang back and hopefully one of you can see something that I can't, because I really don't want to make this any worse.
So yeah, as you've run down all these stairs and you fought this creature and you're kind of winded, and you just kind of like, you're gonna hold your turn?
Yeah.
Alright, Asha and Jazara, make a perception check.
7.
It's okay. Jazara got a 18. So she's gonna grab you both before you step into the water. And she says, "This is too deep here. You'll have to jump across."
Great.
And
More jumping.
She points it's not very far. It's like not even 10 feet. It is more than 5 feet. And she's like, "You have to jump across. The water's several feet deep here. The rest of it gets shallower as you go, but you can't you can't walk through here. So go ahead, and we are going to make a jump. And everybody is going to make me a strength check to see if they can jump across this fun little river portion."
17.
Nope.
What'd you get?
I got a 2.
A 2.
Did?
Clearly, I cannot swim.
As you go to jump, and it's muddy in this area, and as Val goes to jump, she goes and she slips on the mud, and what should have been a leap is just a face plant directly into the water. And in the process, as you're reaching out, like you're trying to grab something to keep yourself from falling, and you grab Jazara and you pull both of you into the water, because Jazara rolled a 7. So. And even her modifier is not enough to save her from that, so...
If I'm going down, you're going down with me.
And Jazara just, like, immediately surfaces, and she just looks at you like, what the fuck?
I panicked! I fell, I grabbed you, at least.
And she grabs you, and she shoves you forward onto what is the mud and the dirt in front of you, and she helps you get up onto the dirt. And, as you guys now make, dirty progress forward. Now, you have the option as you move forward. You, at this moment, are still, as you've turned into this corridor, and you have not been seen by the enemies because you took the turn. Now, if you wait for too long, they will be able to see you within the next round or so. They'll have a line of sight on you. So you have two choices. Since there's these islands of dirt, they're not any more than about 10 feet apart at any given time. You can choose to jump from like dirt pile to dirt pile. It'll take a little longer, and you won't be able to move as quickly, or but it'll be quieter. So you have the opportunity, if you can get around another cavern, you'll start making stealth rolls to see if you can lose the trail of the enemy. Or you can just keep going, full dash, straight to the water, fuck the noise, fuck anything else, and just go for as fast as you can.
I would like to be as quiet as possible, but also get out as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So...
I'm leaning a little more towards run.
Run?
Mm-hmm.
We run.
You're gonna run? Full speed?
Run.
Fuck it?
Run, yep.
All right.
Speed, fuck it, yeah.
Alright, so you're gonna take the full dash action, and Jazara as you're covered in water, you're covered in mud, and Ash is not. Ash is good. Her boots have gotten dirty at this point, but yeah, this is making up for the festival like a few months ago where Ash is the one who fell in the water. But Jazara,
more on that later.
Jazara takes a leap and she makes it to the next dirt clump. This one's not any more than like 2 or 3 feet apart, and you start following her as quietly, like she leaps it because it's just she can. But you start going through. You're going through the mud, through the water, like fuck it, and she's leading you through this like twisting maze of like water and dirt, and you make it. And you do manage to maintain your distance with the enemy by just taking the full dash action right through here. So they do not gain on you for this. But just as you go to run out of the cavern, like you're standing probably in ankle deep water at this point, and you're like starting to like maneuver what is like pillars of mud, which is gross, but you're like starting to maneuver your way around it, and you're traipsing through the water. Just as you go through this corridor, you look up and you see the zombies like come through the cavern, and they're gonna roll a perception check to spot you. Yeah, that's a natural 17 plus 3. They do see you, but you have managed to maintain the distance that you had, so you haven't lost any ground, which is good.
Just keep running. Just keep running.
And the cavern goes from being muddy with like all of these twisting like mini rivers and like these land masses and things like that, to now it's just the river you guys had run through, or the little puddle river you'd run through, goes into a chamber that is now turning more like to stone, and it has the river like traversing through it. There's large cavern walls on every side of you, but it is a very open hall. Like, it's a very open, straightforward cavern, and there is no hiding here. This is definitely a space where you need to book it, and you need to book it fast, because there's no hiding and getting away with it from here. So, would you like to take a full dash, and are you running through the water, or are you running on the stone?
I'm running on stone. Less noise, better.
Less resistance.
Yeah.
Running on the stone.
All right. So you guys are going to run through it, and make me a perception check, please.
17.
15.
15. Val and Asha, you both see this as Jazara is like kind of looking behind her to try and gauge like how far away the enemy is, and as she's looking back behind you, you both clock this giant drider, which is a spider like drow combination, hanging off of the ceiling, and it is huge, and it has a spear, and it does not get
sorry, why does a spider have a spear?
Why wouldn't a spider have a spear?
It doesn't need a fucking spear.
I mean, you guys fought giant mushroom creatures earlier in like the last episode, so
this is just not fair.
So why are you asking that?
Because
D&D's not supposed to make sense. I got through sending you guys a video like a couple weeks ago about people who rode on ostrich chariots. Like that's
pulled by doves.
Pulled by doves. Yeah.
Pulled by doves. Yes, a variety of doves. So you know, it is what it is.
So we
to be
should have
honest
been prepared.
I should have been prepared.
You gotta be prepared for these things, and it rolled a mediocre initiative. So Val, you are first. It is on the ceiling, so you have the choice. If you run underneath it, like continue through the cavern, you will provoke an opportunity attack because it can throw the javelin at you. However, like the spear at you, but you do know it's only holding one. So once it throws it, it can't throw another one. So you will, if you run past it, you can keep up the distance you have with this, between you and the enemies, or you can slow down, take the time to fight it and defeat it, and hope the enemies don't catch up with you in the meantime. And once if the drider throws the spear, it will have to take the time to come down the wall, which will be more than one round worth of movement. So, if it throws it at you, it won't be able to throw it again at Jazara or at Asha.
Can I run under it, past it, and hit it with a cantrip?
If you hit it with a spell, you will only be able to run the 30 feet, not the 60.
I'm going to be the brave and foolish one and run past it and hope that spear misses me and gives one of you a chance to hit it without a spear.
So I'm going to roll. Because as you pass underneath it, you take the full dash action. You're trying to get past it. Like, fuck it. Fuck everything else. Just keep going. So it's going to throw its spear at you. With a natural 2, the spear gets thrown down, passes right past you, like right past your ear, and embeds into the ground, and you get past it with no issues. And Jazara, who's up next, is not even going to bother to attack it. She's just like, just fucking go, and just runs right past it too.
You're welcome!
Thanks, now move!
Moving.
Asha, are you going to attack it? You just going to keep running?
We're gonna run.
You're going to run?
Smart choice, hon. Smart choice.
And so
Jazz
like you
said
dive.
run. I'm running.
It's like, yeah, the creature's about 40 feet up on the ceiling, so you have plenty of space to run underneath it. And you just keep going. And as you come out of this cavern spot, and you don't see it like pursue you. You just see that it's kind of miffed about the fact that like its spear is now 40 feet down on the ground. It's gonna have to go get it.
He's not gonna tell his Drider friends about this one.
Nah, it's just whatever. It's the middle
And
of a
you
nap.
come out onto this ledge, and now instead of being like in like a very confined space, you're into this very open space of ledges that lead further and further down into what just looks like an abyss. And across each different little ledge, from one pillar to the next, is very rickety, very ancient looking bridges. And you know this is a part of the Underdark that was used a long time ago for mining purposes, but hasn't been in operation in the entire time any of you have been alive. Possibly in the entire time your parents have been alive. But as you make it, you start to go around the corner, but Jazara grabs you both, and she's like, we can take a shortcut and go across the bridge. I know it doesn't look like a great bridge, but we could shave off a lot of time if we go this way. And she points across the rickety bridge.
I groan and say, is this the only shortcut?
Between here and where we need to go? Yeah. I said, she looks at you both and she's like, but it will shave off a lot of time, and it will take the others a long time to get across it too. We might even be able to sabotage part of it once we get across. I'll go first.
Yeah, you do that.
So Jazara's going to make a dexterity saving throw, and she's going to very carefully try to navigate it. You won't be able to take a full dash action at this point, but by going across the shortcut, it does lessen the amount of time it's going to take to get where you're going. So she's got a 21. And so she makes it across. She points out to you the two boards that are made up of part of this bridge that's loose, and she tells you not to step on them. So now that she's navigated this successfully, you can both roll your dexterity checks to get across with advantage. So you'll roll 2 d20s and take the higher.
$16.
Did you get a natural 1 is the question.
I did.
On the higher one? Did you get 2 natural ones?
I got a 1 and then I got a 2.
Alright, what's your total?
3.
Fun. So, Asha, you go across, you don't have any issues, you go as quickly but as delicately as possible, and Val, you're right behind her, and as you step into the middle of one of these boards, it, cracks, and your ankle is now stuck in this board. And you can't pull it out. You're like, fuck, this sucks, because you are now stuck. And
Why
Jazara
does it
and
have to
Asha...
happen to me?
Jazara looks at you, she's like, hang on, I'll come help you. And you can make a strength check to try and pull yourself out. And if you can't, then Jazara will try and pull you out.
9.
9, yeah. You're pulling on your boot, and you're pulling on your boot, and you understand that the only way you're getting out of this is just to fully take off the boot, and you don't want to do that. And so Jazara delicately, makes her way across the bridge. So she makes a 15. So she comes over to you, and instead of grabbing your foot, she grabs part of the board and she pries it up so it falls, and it gives you room to bring your ankle up. You have moved this turn, but you have not dashed this turn. Just so you know.
Thanks,
so
Jazz.
She's like, let's go. She just kind of looks at you and she like pats you on the shoulder. She's like, let's get out of here.
Yes, please.
And you traverse and you go through one of these corners, and just before like you go back through like Val, you go across the bridge, and Jazara is going to spend an action. So if you guys dash forward in your next turn, Jazara will be a bit behind you, but she's going to pull some of the boards loose to make a gap between the edge, so that anybody who comes across is going to have to make some kind of serious jump to get across. See how many she can pull up in a... There you go. She manages to pull up probably about 10 feet worth of the boards. It doesn't take much. Like, she just kind of smashes a couple of them down and pulls off a couple, and they weren't really well attached at that point either, because these boards are old as fuck. So some of them collapse, and she goes with you guys, and now you go through one of what is part of one of the mining tunnels. And as you go through, like, the mining tunnels, like, it's twisting and turning, and, like, there's a bunch of dirt everywhere, and it sucks. But you do notice that you're starting to ascend. Like, you're no longer, like, going down, you're not even, like, even pace, you're starting to slowly ascend. And as you come out of one of these tunnels, you come to this very large, spiraling stone staircase. And it's very slippery because there's a waterfall coming through one side. There's moss everywhere, and kind of like what feels kind of like algae on the stairs, so you do have to be careful as you move across the stairs, and the stairs are difficult terrain. So if you move normally, instead of moving 30 feet, or in Ash's case 35, you'll only move 15 feet. If you dash, you'll move 30 feet. Because it's difficult terrain, and you have to, like, practice to keep your balance, and, like, it's a lot of effort. But Jazara yells, up, go up. And you all start to, like, make your way up the stairs. Now, you can choose just to go normally, and, like, you can try an action to do something, or you can dash 30 feet and then keep going.
I'm gonna dash if I can.
Okay.
We're dashing. We want to get out of here.
Alright. Jazara's gonna grab you both and push you towards the edge, because it is a spiraling staircase, but there are no rails. And in the center of it is just this hole where this waterfall is going through. So if you fall, you're going to slip and fall into an unknown abyss of water. So she pushes you both.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, so she pushes you both, like, close to the wall, and she says, don't stand near the edge. And you start to traverse. 5, 10, 15, 20. Put you down there. And so as you start to take, like, the first turn, and because of where you were, you've got at least one more round before they get to you. So you're going to keep dashing?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Alright. Get the first curve over here. And go ahead and everybody make me a dexterity saving throw, not to slip as you go up these stairs.
15.
12.
Alright, everybody's good. You just had to beat a 10. Because Jazara got an 18. So you managed to keep your footing as you're sliding, like, on this moss. You're covered in... Some of you are covered in water. Some of you are covered in mud. And there's, like, moss under your feet. And it's very slippery, but you managed to, like, hold your point. And... go... Alright. And you've now reached, like, the second, like, spiral level. And as you're moving forward, you make it to the bend so that you're almost above the, like, the doorway that you had come through, but just now on, like, the floor above it.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear the skittering of the creatures that have been chasing you. The
Run.
And Jazara looks at you both, and she just shushes you. It just be as quiet as possible as you sneak around, because they are standing there looking for you, because at this moment, because you're directly above them, they haven't looked up and they can't see you. So you're gonna slowly keep going around the bend, and everybody make me a stealth check to see how well you're gonna do with this.
$17.
Got a natural one again. Leave it to me to fuck things up.
You need new dice, darling. Natural ones. So you do fail. Even as a group stealth check, Jazara didn't do very well. She got below a 10. So she didn't do very well either. So you do fail as a group. So as you're running, like some of the rocks that are like keeping this staircase together clatter around underneath your feet and fall, and one of them falls off of the ledge because you are directly above these creatures, and one falls and conks the Illithid like right in the head. And it looks up and it spots all three of you, and it turns and
I wish I could have had a screenshot of her doing that. And she's like, and you never will.
This is the sequel to the honking.
There you go. Honking sequel. Don't know how to spell that. Ineligible Illithid noise.
Ineligible Illithid noise.
So you guys are going and you're like skirting around these edges, and you're just booking it because they fucking see you, and this sucks. And however, they do have the same difficult terrain you do, so it does take them a hot minute to like get around there. But as you dash up, and you're doing your absolute best at this point, but it is slippery and it is hard, and like at some point you might slip and like you kind of like slam your knee onto the stairs, but you get like one of the others like pulls you back up, and you're shoving each other forward as fast as you can, and you get to the top where the waterfall is, and you make your way out into what is a new cavern that is full of like there's water on the floor, and like it's a little splashy here and there, but it's mostly stone. And I want everybody to make me a perception check, please, and do well because this one's important.
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying.
I know, dear.
24.
Woo! She's bringing her A game.
7.
It's okay. Ashley just fucking took it out of the park, so she's fine. Jazara got a 10. Ashley, as you're looking around and you see like these stone walls, they're weirdly like stacked stone almost, but they go all the way up to the ceiling. And as you're looking around, you see that the pathway splits off in a couple different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're looking around, you walk into this further open cavern, and there's a pool of water, but you can see that what has been a cave-in recently has blocked the path that you guys originally go into. And Jazara is looking around because now you look like you're in like a confined space.
Mm-hmm.
And where your exit used to be, it is no longer. But as you look around, you can see just past one of these little pools. So as you come over here and put you there and put you there, you can see right over here there looks to be like a small like tunnel space that's just big enough that the three of you, if you go one at a time, can probably fit through it. And you know that where you need to go is in that direction.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Everybody look over there. I think we can get out that way.
Where?
Over there. See that little nook across the pond?
Kinda.
And
I will let you lead the way if you see something to get out of here.
All right.
you can hear like the noises of the creatures coming up the stairs, and Jazara just looks at you both and she's like, it's fucking worth a shot, let's go. And who wants to go first, or do you want Jazara to
I'll go first.
Asha can go first because she knows where the hell she's going.
Go for it.
Deep water?
You can choose to take the time to run around it. You can choose to try and jump over it, or you can do a perception check to look how deep the water is.
I'm just gonna jump. We gotta go. So,
All right.
Strength or dexterity for that one?
You can, if you want to roll me a dexterity save, you can roll me whichever one's better for you.
Okay. Dexterity. By just the slightest. Alright, 13.
13? Alright, you make it across. It's not like a wide space to land on, but the wall's right there, and as you jump, you put your hands up on the wall to catch yourself. And
it's not graceful, but it'll do.
And you think to yourself, it's probably a good thing they didn't like go like into the water itself, because then there would be like ripples in the water, and it might attract attention, like especially once the enemies like come through here. And as you do, like you slip through the little crevasse area, and Val, do you want to go first, or do you want Jazara to?
I'm going next because if I fail, then I had someone behind me to come help.
Good. And you can do strength or dexterity, whichever one's better for you.
6.
6. So as you start to take a leap over it, and you don't even like make it to jump. It's really slippery. You slide, and you don't like fall on your ass, but you kind of fall to one knee. And Jazara helps pull you up, and you can go ahead and try again.
I think. 11.
Why are you throwing them on the floor?
Because the table wasn't working.
I don't think the floor is gonna help.
We'll see.
It got her an 11.
Auto-generate rolling dice, girl. You're gonna lose it under that piano.
Mm-hmm.
You take a leap and you jump over, and you, less gracefully than Asha did, like as you leap and like you grab for the wall, you kind of like smash yourself against it, but it's better than fucking falling in the water at this point.
Mom, I know it's gonna heal later.
And Asha, you're like still making your way. It's a tight space, and like you're turned to the side. You've got like one arm extended with your shield because like you can't have it close to your body or you'll get stuck. And you're like slowly making your way, but as you do, like you can feel Valkyria come up like beside you. And
you okay, girl?
I'll live. I hope. If I don't get attacked by, creepy monsters.
And Jazara gets a 24 from a natural 19, and she makes it across. And as she makes it across, I'm going to roll her a stealth check not to be seen as these creatures come through the doorway.
Yeah, I'm gonna get new dice and just be like, what's wrong with the other ones? You gave me dice that kept making me fail.
Some dice just don't like people, and that's just all there is to it.
It's rude.
And Jazara with a... Yeah, with another 24, because she rolled another natural 19, slips behind the little crevice thing that you guys are in, and just before these creatures come through there, and they do not see her, and they're gonna be occupied for quite a while trying to figure out how to get where you guys have been and where to go. So now that you are out of their view, you slowly, and you're very careful to be very quiet as you like wiggle your way through here, trying not to knock any stones down. And it takes you a hot minute to get through here. And you know that if you'd been seen and they'd come after you, like, it would not be a great space to get, like, confined into and get in a fight with. Because you would be sitting ducks wiggling your way through, a crevice at this point.
We'd be toast.
What was stone very quickly turns to sand underneath your feet. And a familiar but not so familiar place comes to you as you see this. And it is a sandy and also a little bit of like brick here and there, a pathway into a lake that is what is known as the Lake of the Underdark. And it is massive and stretches as far as you can see. And coming up out of the water is stalactites and stalagmites, and gigantic stalactites are coming down. And Jazara turns, and she doesn't even wait for any of you. She takes off towards a corner behind like one of these wall areas, and she takes off towards the corner, and she you think what is a giant rock on the ground, she reaches over and grabs it, and she pulls it back, and it's actually a cloth tarp over a small but functional rowboat.
Woohoo!
Did you know she had that hidden there?
It's not mine. It's a part of the guards. We use it when we have to go for a patrol up to the surface. Help me get this thing in the water.
Okay.
And Jazara
There's
goes
so
over
much about my city I don't know.
To be fair, who the hell wants to go here? And
yeah. I don't want to be patrolled down here.
That's fair. She's like, quickly. She gestures to one of you. She's like, one of you grab the oars. The other one help me pull this in the water. And there's 2 large oars sitting next to it on the ground. One of you can do that, and the other one can roll a strength check to help Jazara get it in the water.
Heave! You want to do strength or me?
I'll do strength.
All right.
Okay. Sorry, it is a 5.
It takes a lot of heaving and a lot of effort, and like it's
It's a
not as
10-person
great.
boat.
Yeah, it's not great. It's probably actually more like a 4-person boat, maybe a 5. You know, like a 6-person boat at best.
Okay,
Like you could lay in,
semantics.
you could lay in it, but if all 3 of you laid in it, somebody's laying on top of somebody. Like that's just like 2 of you can lay
Cuddle
side by
party!
side. But there's definitely some squishing going on if like you all get into it. But you do eventually you shove it into the water. It's taken more time than any of you would like, but you get in the water, you get in the boat, and you jump in, and Jazara uses like one of the oars to push you off, and together you start rowing into this lake. I mean, you know this lake, you've done this before. This is not a short trip in this lake. Also, I'll show you part of a picture of the lake. There you go.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Oh, that looks like where Bilbo met Gollum.
It's very much reminiscent of where Bilbo met Gollum, like underneath that mountain, but it's like this giant like sea. It almost looks like an ocean, except for there's walls, but it's giant stalactites and stalagmites coming down. There's glowing like fluorescent mushrooms here and there, some crystals here and there. And
So what she's saying, it would be pretty if we weren't being chased by
It'd be very
ravenous
pretty if we
beasts.
weren't being chased by rabid beasts, but yeah.
It's very true. Now, as you row, and Jazara takes up most of like the rowing process, and she rows quickly, but she's trying not to like splash the oars in the water. And I want everybody to make me one final group stealth check, please.
12.
20.
20? Like a natural 20?
No,
No.
19 plus 1.
19 plus 1. Okay. Well, you guys pass with the group stealth check. You're trying to be quiet. Jazara has both of you like get low like in the boat, so like if anything comes at you guys, like you don't see it, or like nothing can hit you. And and she's like rowing like as quickly as she can, but without making a shit ton of noise. And you row for probably like a couple hours, in all honesty, and like you are still going because it is at least a day's journey in this boat.
Wow, that is a massive... That's practically an ocean. That's not even a lake. That is an ocean.
Yeah,
That's a sea. Yeah.
It's a huge space. It is a massive, massive space. It takes longer too because it's not a straight path. You have
Right.
to actively navigate around the stalagmites that are coming up, which would turn what is probably only a half-day boat journey into like a full day because you're actively just weaving in and out.
And
so
trying
much.
to go quietly.
Yeah, and you're trying to sneak, you're trying to be quiet and everything like that.
We're just all on edge.
There was only one boat, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Jazara like, answers you. She's like, yes, there's only the one patrol boat. We don't usually keep more than one because usually more than one patrol doesn't come up here.
That's good to
And-
know.
Is there anything you guys would
Do
like
it.
to talk about or do while you're sitting in the boat?
I do have one pertinent question.
Yes.
Do Illithid swim?
Maybe. I don't think they would though.
Okay. That's a start. I'll accept that for now.
They've always told us they're kind of pretentious, so I can't really see one jumping in the water to swim after us though.
They also said that this machine would, stay on forever, and that didn't happen. So, I'm going to be negative Nancy and just accept that they're going to show up swimming behind my boat. So,
Fair enough.
Jazz, can you oar
Yeah.
faster?
Mm-hmm.
You want to take an oar and help me oar faster?
Yeah,
Okay.
I will
She
actually
scoots-
help you for this
She
one.
scoots over and like you start rowing together. In this time, Asha, if you would like, you can take an hour to meditate on your new shield.
No time like the present.
As Jazara and Val are over here rowing because there's nothing to do. Like you just they're both like keeping a lookout at the same time. So if you'd like to take an hour and meditate on your new shield, you may do that.
Okay. I shuffle to the back of the boat so that I don't get in the way of anything, and I hold the shield across my lap with my hands on top of it, and I sink into a meditative state.
All right, let me tell you about your brand new shield. because it does fun things. And I made it just for you, so it does all kinds of fun things.
I feel special.
You should be.
That was so aggressive.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to be.
You got new jewelry. You calm down.
The shield is known as the Moon's Defense. The Moon's Defense is a purple and silver shield that has different phases of the moon emblazoned in a ring around the edges of it. Within the ring, the current phase of the moon glows softly in a purple and silvery light. It's not so much that, like, it draws attention, like you're not a beacon, but, like, it glows very softly, so you can look at it and know what phase of the moon it is. The center of the shield has a very intricate design of the Moonweaver symbol, with the crescent moon turned upside down and strung like a bow. The shield grants you a bonus to your armor class, and this shield, when used by a cleric of the Moonweaver, which is you, yeah, it's you, as an action once a night, you can cast the spell Fog Cloud.
Ooh.
And I can tell you what Fog Cloud does.
Night. That's important because nighttime. Moon.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, like, if you use it at some point, it will reset with, like, the next day. It has to be past the dawn of the next day.
Okay.
So you could use it in the middle of the night and then use it again as soon as, like, the sun sets the next day. It just has to be past the dawn.
Okay.
Fog Cloud is a level 1 spell.
Mm-hmm.
And as an action, you create a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within 120 feet of you. The sphere spreads around corners, and its area is heavily obscured, and it lasts for up to an hour, but you have to concentrate on it. And it'll last there unless, like, there's heavy winds, like it has to be like 10-mile-an-hour winds, so, like, to move fog.
Mm-hmm.
And you can place it up to 120 feet away from you. You can use a bonus action on your turn to, like, move it about 20 feet. And you have to concentrate on it, which means you can't cast another concentration spell. Because if you do, you will lose this spell. It'll go away. But you can cast it over an area or whatever, and it will fog up an area, and people cannot see through it. So it's good for escapes.
Yeah.
It's very good for escapes. So, and you can do that once a night. It doesn't take one of your spell slots. It's just a feature of the shield itself.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. So that's a fun little thing for you.
Yay.
Alrighty. So the party spends hours, just hours, oaring and, like, rowing your way through this river ocean, and it just feels like it goes on forever, especially as you're sitting here doing nothing, and all you can think about is your family back home, what's happening to them, where they're going, what they're doing, are they okay? And as you keep going, it's going to take you a little while, so you can we're going to set up shifts for resting.
Okay.
So you guys don't overexert yourselves, and you can set for any spell slots and stuff like that. So Jazara is going to offer to take the first watch if you guys want to get some sleep, and you guys can decide between the two of you who's going to take it next. And understand that when you do your watch, you do have to continue to steer and row the boat.
I'll take second watch.
And Asha, you can take third.
Sounds good.
Before you guys go to sleep, Jazara looks at you and she says, I know this has been a lot, and I can't tell you what we're going to find when we get to the surface. But whatever we find, whatever we do, we'll do it together.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get it done.
We can
We'll
do
get
this.
We
If
got
anybody
this.
can do this, it's us. We got this.
I hope we got this.
God,
Fuck,
I
me
hope
too.
we get it.
Jesus, what are we gonna do if we don't got this? Like, holy shit.
You think they're okay?
I think
I
if
can only
anybody can
pray.
be okay, it's our people. Like, our families aren't exactly pushovers. Like, did you see your dad? Like, Val, like, holy shit, I didn't know your dad could do that. He glowed
I
and
didn't
he
even know
flew
my
in the
dad could do
air.
that. I wonder if I can do that.
Maybe soon.
Can you do that?
I don't know. I don't know what he did, but
Oh, yeah.
Ashley, maybe we like throw her overboard and find out if she flies.
I heard that.
Good.
You were
Wow.
supposed to.
Okay.
And I can't be the only one who saw like the Crystal Catcher's house move, right? Like, that moved.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, that thing
was-
freaking moved.
It came to life.
And then
Like-
catapults came out the sides of the walls. Like,
They've been hiding the good shit, is what they.
What the fuck are these people doing in their spirit? Like, I knew they were weird, but like their houses are catapults. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Where do
When
they
have the
sleep?
crystal catchers ever made any sense?
I mean, that's fair. In all honesty, like, they're fucking weird. But
hey, you think? What do you think? Their heir is doing?
Shitting
crying.
himself.
He's crying, shitting himself, and just probably sobbing in a corner somewhere. Or
Probably.
maybe, you know,
Well,
it
that's a
would be
typical day for him, so I think he's probably okay.
it would be a really good opportunity to get rid of him if somebody put him in the catapult.
That would be one way to use. Yeah.
I wonder.
I wonder if anyone actually tried. 'Cause I know his grandma don't like him much.
Oh no, his grandmother adores him.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's Jazara's grandmother that fucking hates him.
That's
She said,
right.
my grandmother would love the opportunity to throw that dude in a fucking catapult.
Just
I'd like the opportunity.
nonchalantly walk by and nudge him into the slot for the
Just
for the rock
accidentally like falls in.
and just launch. Bye. Oh, somebody was in there. I'm so sorry. Bye bye.
Gets launched like right at that dragon, and the dragon like eats him. And it's Jazara,
I think the
like,
dragon would have been offended if he ended up with that guy for a snack.
giving him a stomach ache in all honesty.
Yeah.
Probably.
And that guy already has an acid condition.
That's fair. And as you guys talk about, about home and about the dragon, you do get quiet as you talk about the dragon because it is the largest creature any of you have ever seen. It is terrifying. And you try not to think of the implications of having such a huge ancient creature attacking your home. And Jazara kind of just leans out to both of you. She pats you both on the shoulder and she's like, get some rest. Whatever we do from here, we do for our city. We can do this. Whatever's going to be on the surface, whether it's more than we can imagine or it's nothing at all. We'll do it. We have to.
For the city.
For the city.
For our city. And Jazara's going to take first watch.
Asha's meditating. Val's gonna take a nap.
And yeah, her first watch passes. Nothing really happens. She just rows. The boat kind of rocks a couple times and she has to steer around giant like stalactite pillars and stuff like that. And Val, you can Jazara's gonna wake you up. She's like, hey,
Yeah, I'm up.
your turn, have an oar. And she like throws both oars at you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And but
Friend.
as she goes to lay down, she does direct you in the direction that you need to go to. She's like, just keep going in this direction. If you think you get turned around, just wake me up and let me know.
Alright.
And she at that is going to lay down, and you can go ahead and roll me a perception check, please.
17.
Ooh.
So the floor is working.
The floor is working as she rolls on the floor. And so your like first couple hours of the watch, it goes pretty smoothly. You're rowing. It takes you a more work than it does Jazara to like steer the boat in like sharp turns around these like stalagmites and stuff like that. And you like use the oar at some point to like push off of one. And as you're going, And you're rowing, and as you pass by one of these very large stalagmite pillars, and it catches your attention out of the corner of your eye because it's glowing in a different color than, like, most of the crystals and the mushrooms and things here are glowing in like greens and blues. But out of the corner of your eye, probably about 15 feet from you on the stalagmite pillar that you just went around, is what looks like a small red glowing crystal. And it looks a lot different than the other crystals that are here. And it's probably not any bigger than your hand, if even as big as your hand. But it looks very different than the other ones that are here.
Now, which one? No, I
It's
know
you.
me, but which one of you is the one that is good with the gems?
Anybody who lives in the city is gonna be good with the
Okay.
gems.
Mhm.
So you could feasibly
All
wake
right.
up anybody.
So, sorry.
Or nobody.
I mean, Val is gonna just slowly inch her way towards
Okay.
this
You
glowing red thing.
And as you like row the boat closer, you're very careful, like you're looking around, making sure there's nothing going on. And as you get closer, you're probably about 5 feet from it. It's a few feet up from you, but if you stand on top of one of the seats,
Mhm.
it's within reach of you, and you can see it. And it looks like a crystal, but the way it's glowing is different than the way a normal crystal glows. It kind of like a shifting kind of a glow. And if you'd like, you can reach up and try and like pull it out of the wall.
Knowing me, yeah, I'm gonna
Mhm.
curiosity kill the cat. I'm gonna do exactly that because I'm not gonna bother Asha while she's still meditating
Okay.
and Jazz is sleeping. So I'm gonna get us into trouble most likely and try and yank this pretty shiny thing out of the wall.
Okay. And you have to get like up on your tiptoes. You kind of like the boat at this point is like braced up against the edge of the stalagmite. You've got one foot in the boat. You have to put one foot like up against the stalagmite to keep your balance. And like the boat kind of rocks a little bit, but you reach up and you put your hand around this crystal and you yank, and it comes out of the wall much easier than you expected to. You expect to have to like put a lot of your weight into it, and you almost lose your balance because you weren't prepared for just to come out.
Because she overprepared.
But it does. And as you yank it down, and you now have this red glowing crystal in your hand. And as you stare at it, you can see like the colors in it are like shifting. And soon as you put your hand around it, it pulses, and the magic that's in it, because it is magical, just pulses once, and then you feel it resonate perfectly with your own magic. And this crystal in your hand feels like it belongs with you.
Something worked out for you. So nice.
So I'm just gonna stand there and slowly sit down and just Asha.
Whoa,
Asha!
what? What is that?
I don't know, but I saw it and I grabbed it, and it's magic, and I can feel it. Like,
Good magic? Bad magic?
it's like a missing puzzle piece. It feels like a missing puzzle piece. Like, it just fits. I don't know what this is, but it feels right.
Well, your dad's magic was red.
Do you think it's the same thing?
I have no idea. But if you say it feels right, I guess it can stay.
I mean, here, you hold it. See what you feel.
I take it.
And you can feel that it's magic, but there's no pulsing, there's no resonating, it just feels like a magical crystal, a powerful magical crystal, but a crystal nonetheless.
Well, I don't feel bad illithid vibes coming off it. So, best guess is it belongs to you.
Okay. I got a shiny.
Yes, you have a shiny.
Go ahead.
I was like, I'll tell Jazz once we wake her up.
Yeah. She needs to rest.
She needs to rest.
And I guess since I'm up, I'll take the next watch.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit here with my new shiny and hope it's not a beacon of doom.
And you can spend an hour meditating with it, and I can tell you what it does.
Yes.
This is
Okay.
also something I handcrafted just for you.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's special and unique just to you. I made it specifically for you. It is a arcane focus. So you'll notice in your spells they have like material components and stuff like that. Like you'll need like a twig of mistletoe for this spell or whatever. And like I could be a dick and I could make you follow those, or I can give you an arcane focus, which means you ignore material components to your spells unless it's like a massive super important spell. Like Asha, for instance, like your medallion of the Moonweaver like acts as an arcane focus for you. Which means for the most part you don't have to use material components, but if you do a spell that's significant like Revivify, which saves a creature's life after they've already died, I'd make you use the material components for that.
Okay.
But with this, for Valkyria, you don't need material components anymore. So you don't have to collect bat guano and mistletoe springs and all that shit, which are all, I assure
Guano
you,
and mistletoe.
very
Guano.
real, very pain in the ass real things. And I'm going to tell you about your arcane focus.
I do want to just interject that
Sure.
Misty literally crafted a shiny.
She
for
did.
you.
She crafted a shiny
She
for me.
knew you go get it.
My friends know me so well.
As I was crafting it and I was figuring out where to put it, I'm like, there's just no way she's not going to be attracted to the shiny and she's not going to go get it. So I don't even have to worry about that.
And what did I do? I did exactly that. I'm like, what is this?
I would have been honestly horrified if you said no.
Fair. Very fair.
Right, like, I would have just been like, maybe I don't know her at all after
Nope.
8-9 years.
Nope. You know me very, very well.
All right. So
Proceed.
you sit there and like you're meditating with this crystal and it's glowing in shades of red that turns into purples and then sometimes into like deep blues. And it takes you an hour to meditate with it. And as you're sitting there and you're holding it close to you and you're meditating on the magic that's resonating so surprisingly with you. And as around the hour mark ends and you're thinking to yourself, maybe it's time for bed and everything like that. But as that hour mark comes to an end and your eyes are closed, a vision fills your mind. It's darkness and then shadows. And you can see in your mind these shifting tendrils of shadows as they shift and they move and they are all around you until they slowly clear. And you see what looks like a world, not a planet, but like a plane of existence. And it's completely dark as if you took all of the crystals in the Underdark and just turned them off. And there's shadows shifting. There's no plant that doesn't look like it's dead. All of the greenery that you see, like in the greenhouses and everything, don't exist here. There's rock and gravel and burned areas, and it's shifting in different places. It shows you a town, and like the creatures are pale, and like they are all dressed in like dark colors. There seems to be no color here. There's an odd absence of any kind of color. And it shifts and shows you one location, and then a city, and then a town, and then a plain, and then a field, and then a forest of trees that have no leaves. And it's cold, and there's ice everywhere. There's snow in certain places. You see mountains that have what almost looks like black snow on it. And as you're seeing these visions, and you see this mountain, and on top of it is this black snow, you hear the sound of wings beating. And they're not small wings. They get louder and louder until it sounds like gigantic, enormous wings beating right behind you, but you can't turn around. And as you're standing there, almost floating in this imaginary space, the wings you can see as they beat curve around you, and they're not touching you, but they curve around you as they beat forward and back, and they almost touch you, and then they move away again, and you can feel a presence with wings behind you, and you don't know what it is. And as what you can't see, but Asha, who's sitting there watching you, can. Valkyria is completely silent as she's holding this crystal, and the crystal is pulsing in different colors of reds and purples and blues, and you can see a glow coming like through her closed eyes that is matching these colors. Every color the crystal turns, her eyes match as well, and they're flashing over and over again. And Valkyria, in your mind, as these wings beat, and they beat like one time and they close like in front of you so that you can't see past them, and as they come back, there's a figure standing there, and she's incredibly tall, and she's wearing this feather mantle that touches the ground and drags on the ground. She's wearing a pure white porcelain mask, and she has long, straight black hair, and you can't see any features of her beyond the hair and the mask, and this mantle that comes down like a giant cloak in front of her, and it's completely made of black raven feathers. And she looks at you, and you don't necessarily feel fear, but you know in this moment that you and this creature are looking at one another, and it sees you, she sees you, and just as well as you see her. And just as you think for a moment to perhaps reach for her, to pull away from her, just as it starts to really settle in that somebody is looking at you in this vision, everything ends, and you are back in the boat.
Well, that was something.
I'll say that was
What did you see? What happened?
well, the crystal, it was glowing and changing colors, and so were your eyes,
My eyes?
like little beacons of light, changing in time with the crystal.
Sure. We'll go with that.
What did you see?
I heard wings. Like big wings. And then they were behind me and I couldn't turn around. And the wings encompassed my vision. And then when they beat away, there was this real tall womanly figure in like just standing there. And then she disappeared.
She just disappeared.
Yeah.
You didn't talk to. She
No,
didn't say
she
anything?
didn't. Nothing. She had a white mask on, feathers. Oh, and before all that, like just grayscale. Everything I saw planes, I saw cities, I saw towns, but everything was gray. There was no color.
Do you think that's what the surface looks like,
I
or is that something to come?
I don't know.
Something.
I don't know if that figurine is a good omen, a bad omen, if it's. I don't know. We need Jazz.
You wake up, Jazz?
Yeah, it's time to wake up, Jazz.
What the hell is going on? Is it
Jazz, I got a shiny.
It's a little more than that.
It's a little more than that, but it's a shiny.
Is it dangerous shiny?
I don't think so. I mean, I saw stuff.
And Jazara sits up at that. She's like, "What? You like the way Jacinda sees things, or?"
No, I'm pretty sure this was like magical from, magical sources, not.
Magical. Wait a minute. First of all, what did you see? And what do you mean by magical sources?
So, while you were sleeping and Asha was meditating and I was rowing, I saw this shining red glimmer, and I went to it and I picked it out of a wall.
You went looking for a mysterious shiny, found it, and
I didn't go looking for it, alright? I just happened to see it, and I went to investigate.
And Jazara just kind of looks at Asha, and then looks back at Valkyria. And what is this shiny that you found?
Might as well show her.
Look!
And she looks at this crystal, and she's just like, okay,
But tell her how it felt right.
Okay, so yes, it also felt right when I touched it. Like I could feel the
The
magic. Like,
crystal's giving you feelings now?
all right, you know what? It's more like a. It's not feelings, Jazz. It's I. I don't know how to explain it other than saying I feel the magic. Like it just swept right through me and feels like a
And
missing part of me. Asha held it and she didn't feel anything other than vibes.
Didn't feel bad, so I let her keep it.
what
Thanks,
do
Mom.
you... It felt right?
Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it, Jazz. It's just
What did it show
does-
you?
I saw cities and towns and plains and but they were all in gray. There was no color. And then I heard wings, and then wings appeared around me and in front of me. And like I could feel the wind from the wings across me, but I couldn't turn around to see what had the wings. And then after a couple, wing beats, a figure appeared. Some woman with a white mask and like black raven feather like cape or something. And she just stood there and I had the notion that for a split second to like reach out to her and then she just disappeared. And apparently my eyes were glowing.
Yeah.
Your eyes were glowing?
I didn't see this, Asha said it.
When she
Well,
was
I would have had more
meditating.
questions if you'd have seen your own eyes, but you know.
Well, yeah.
To be fair.
So while she was meditating,
Uh-huh.
she was holding the crystal, and it was lighting up, and it was pulsing between red and purple and all different colors. And there might have been light coming out of her eyes.
Well, that doesn't sound very good, don't you think?
Sounds a little different.
Sounds new.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking we could use all the magic we can get now that it's mostly gone in our city.
Well, I suppose that's fair. I sent you a picture of what you saw. It's just the figure, not the place.
That was my first thought, Mia Corvair, when she said that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you haven't read Empire of the Vampire yet.
Oh, it looks very much like Mia.
It does look like, but it also.
So Jazara's gonna stick her hand out and ask if she can see the crystal. Can I see this mysterious shiny?
Sure. You promise to give it back and not lump it into the water?
I promise.
Thank you.
It hasn't done anything bad to you yet. So she examines it, she looks at it. She also doesn't feel like the magical resonance that you do. She's like, well, as long as it doesn't do anything harmful, I guess. You might as well keep it.
Cool.
So
Now I
she gives
get
it
to
back
rock.
to you. And yeah, now you have a rock. And I will tell you what your shiny little rock does. So let's pull these up so I can read to you about your shiny little rock. Because your shiny little rock is a cool little rock, so. Alright. Your rock is called... Why does it do this? Your rock is called... Why does it do this?
Makes sense.
Fair.
It became mine. What does it do this?
It's like, why? There we go. Your rock, your crystal, is called Hallows Eve.
Ooh.
And it is an arcane focus. And it is about an inch wide and about 3 to 4 inches long. And each side is a different facet of the crystal. And when someone looks into the crystal, when not attuned to it or being you are now attuned to this crystal. It shifts in some unnatural colors and has a tendency to if you stare at it for too long, it'll just turn dark if you're not attuned to it. But when the crystal first touches someone with a deep magical energy, it will shift colors, and as you stare at it, it reflects the colors of twilight and of a sunset bleeding into twilight. And as you stare at it, and the colors shift. Yeah, and as you stare at it, the colors shift in what looks like almost smoke. It's a smoke inside the crystal as it shifts around. Once attuned, the user the same twilight colors will appear with you every time you use magic that involves a spell slot. So the crystal will pulse faintly with those colors every time you cast a spell that requires a spell slot, as will your eyes.
Ooh.
You can choose actively to not to let to do this if you're trying to be like subterfuge and all that stuff and like not let somebody know. You can actively do it, but you have to think about it.
Okay.
But naturally, it will just will do that for you. The crystal also gives a +1 to your spell save DC, which we'll get to in just a second. And it also contains a spell I made just for you as well.
Ooh.
A spell known as Hollow's Nightmare. Once a day, as a bonus action, the attuned user can summon black tendrils of smoke and shadow, which billow and gather around you in a 5 feet area, and attach to one creature within 15 feet of you for 1d8 plus 1 damage. This does not require a spell slot, but is rather a feature of the crystal.
I get my shadows.
You did. You wanted them last time, and I was looking through your spell stuff, and nothing comes across that interesting as you level up. So I'm just like, I'm gonna give her shadows. So.
I got shadows. I'm so excited.
And
shadows.
Another interesting part of this, as you grow stronger and level up, you will unlock new features of the crystal.
Ooh.
So yeah. So you get a evolving shiny. You get
Evolving?
a Pikachu shiny.
I get a Pikachu shiny.
Certainly does.
So you guys spend some time rowing through this gigantic, enormous sea, and let us roll nature checks to make sure everybody was going in the right direction.
13.
13, okay.
9.
9. You got a little distracted while looking at your shinies. You might not have gone like entirely the correct direction.
Of course.
Jazara meets the DC with a 10 exactly. You guys, there might have been a couple of like hours add on of like trying to like maneuver and stuff like that, but as you're making it, in the three of you, like it is technically daytime. You're awake. It's not great. Go
It's
ahead and
never
roll
great
me.
when I'm awake. Great when I'm awake.
When you're array.
And when I'm awake. What are we?
Roll
I'm sorry.
me-
Which check?
A perception check, please.
14.
6.
You really so much need new dice, girl.
I'm gonna order some new ones. Yes.
Oh Lord. As the three of you, Jazara, who got a 12, you guys are rowing in the boat, like you're talking about what's been going on, about the new crystal that Valkyrie has found and everything, and just as you're going, you feel a smack as the boat impacts with what you assume is rocks under the water, and the boat kind of like goes up a little bit and is now wedged itself on these little rocks up on this.
I really hope that's like mooring or something that we hit and not some sea monster, because I really would crash my high of finding a new shiny.
I hope
Just-
the
so
rocks too.
Jazara's gonna go over and she's gonna like poke at it with like one of the oars. Yeah, we should have paid more attention because we've crashed on some rocks.
Okay, as long as it's rocks, it's fine.
We need to get the boat off the rocks without breaking the boat. We can try and use the oars to push us off if you want.
Let's start with the least potentially destructive method of.
Oh, then let's try and push ourselves off the boat.
All
Or
right.
off the rocks. So
If this goes bad, I'm gonna push somebody off the boat. That's for sure.
And as you go to do this, the two of you can work together on one oar if you want, and you
Okay.
can give one of you advantage on a strength check, and Jazara's going to work on the other one.
Okay.
So go ahead and one of you, which I'm going to assume is Asha, and roll me a strength check.
Yeah.
18, actually.
18. And Jazara has a... Oh, she got an 18 as well, because 15 plus 3 is 18. You shift the boat, and you push off with it as much as you can, and like the boat turns, and you can fully push your boat off these rocks. However, as you go to do it, you hear a loud creaking sound, and it sounds like one of the
That doesn't
boards is
sound-
starting.
One of the
Shit.
boards.
And Jazara's gonna stop pushing, and I'm assuming both of you do as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
What was
so
that?
Jazara's. It looks like as we pull ourselves off of these rocks, there's still rocks underneath us, and it's pushing us into those, and it might bust a hole in the bottom of the boat if we're not careful.
Of course, because why the hell should anything get any better?
I think I can't see it from up here. I'm gonna have to go in the water.
Okay. Better you than me.
Is there?
I can't see where the rocks are, and I can't see how badly it might have already punctured the boat.
Okay.
I don't want to do it either, but
Anybody
I gotta-
got a light for her?
oh, you have dark vision. You don't need it. But she also has well, if she goes underwater, she does have her own spells. In that she has dancing lights. So Jazara is going to put down her bow. She's going to put down her quiver. She's going to she's going to take her boots off. She's going to take all of her equipment off because she doesn't want to get in the water with all of it.
Strip.
Not the
And Jazara
time
flips you
or
off.
the place.
She's like, I can just push you in the water. It'd be easier.
You want soggy shoes?
I do not want soggy shoes. Thank you very much.
So Jazara is going to go over the side of the boat. She's just going to, right before she does, she's going to look at you and say, if I get the boat dislodged, don't leave.
I will keep us here. Don't worry.
Damn. All right.
Thank you.
Children.
And Jazara fully looks at Val as she says that. She's like, I will leave your ass in this lake. Don't even tempt me.
You promised Daddy you wouldn't, so I love you.
She lifts you off and jumps in the water. And so Jazara's gonna go underneath the water, and as she goes into the water, she casts dancing lights to make what is pitch black, murky water a little brighter. And she can see where the one of the rocks is kind of wedged in an odd angle. It hasn't penetrated through the boat, but just because of the way it is, as you move the boat in the direction we had been moving it, which is back, it would go through the boat. So she's gonna surface up next to you, and she says, I can move it, but we have to move it into the left instead of back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go on the other side of the boat, and I'm gonna shove from in the water. And as she says that is when she feels something brush up against her leg. And she's holding on to the side of the boat, and she's looking at you, and as she's talking to you, Bella. She's like, oh, fuck.
What?
What? Out of the water. Out of the water. Get out.
I'm not alone.
Get in the boat.
And she's holding on to it, and, to the edge of the boat. She's stopped kicking, and she waits for a moment just to see if she feels anything else. And she's, I don't feel anything else. But we can't get this boat off these rocks if I don't push it off.
Well, we're not gonna get out if you die, so get in the boat.
Give me your hand.
And so Jazara will climb back in the boat, and as she's climbing back in the boat, you guys see sifting through the water, something crests along the water and then goes back down.
I guess we can't just hope that it's a friendly water helper thing.
And it sifts underneath the boat, and as it does bump into the boat, and it rattles all of you.
And everybody
Yep. And everybody reaches for their
Throws out.
balance.
Why
Yeah,
do we
throws
have
out
to
their
get
arms.
demonic Nessie?
And it shifts around, and it comes back, and you can watch it as it's approaching the boat, just slightly above the surface. As it gets closer, it dips back down, and you don't see it anymore. And Jazara's gonna grab an arrow and her bow, and she's like, well, prepare yourselves, I guess.
You're not really gonna shoot at it. Can you even see it?
When it crests up on the water, you can.
Okay.
And so Jazara's gonna hold her bow with an arrow knocked in it and wait till it comes up on the surface, and she's gonna try and hit it.
Are you sure this
And
is
as
a
it
good
shifts
idea?
around, I have to get in the water to move this boat. This thing is circling us like a predator circles prey. You got a better idea?
No.
None here.
Unfortunately.
then I'm going to shoot the creepy snake creature in the water. And as it comes up, like it crests like over the water, and Jazara is going to try and hit it. Fun. And it, as she pulls it back, she does hit it with a 14, because its AC is actually 13. And she's going to roll 1d8 plus 1. 8. She hits it for 8 points of damage. And when she hits the arrow into it, it slips back below the water and you don't see it. And you wait. Unless you'd like to do something else.
I'm gonna be sitting here pretending I don't exist and trying not to draw any attention to myself.
I mean, that would be ideal. Also, we need to get out of here. But if we move the boat, then we're probably gonna drown.
And just as you have that lovely thought, the creature crests up out of the water, slams into the side of the boat. Roll me a dexterity saving throw not to fall into the water.
Dexterity 0. Dexterity. 14.
6.
Asha and Jazara, who got a natural 1, fall in the water.
Oh, motherfucker.
Jazara, who's holding her bow, and Asha, who is holding. Are you holding a lot, or is
No, I let go of the shield just as I'm about to fall.
As you fall in the water.
Yeah.
So you are now in the water with this creature.
The unhappy creature.
The unhappy creature. And roll initiative, everyone.
Nope. 5. 3.
All right. Well, with a whopping 11, Zara is at the top of the initiative order for that. And she is going to swim. She's going to take the opportunity. She's going to swim to the other side of the boat, and she's going to try and use her strength to shove the boat off of the rock, because she knows that there's no fight. She throws her bow, by the way, in the boat. Like, she was holding her bow. She throws it in the boat. And she's going to try and shove the boat off the rocks with a strength check. 19. So she gets a 19. So she does manage. It takes a lot of effort, especially because she's swimming in the water. And as she's shoving on the boat, Valkara, you're in the boat, but the boat is tilting wildly to one side because she's trying to shove at it. Right. And it takes her a hot second. She shoves at it, and it does dislodge it from the rock, and you are in a wildly tilting back and forth boat. Like,
Jazz, I really don't want to fall in this water. Please stop.
Think we want to be in here?
I'd like to have a boat to get back into.
That will go somewhere.
And it is the creature's turn, and it is going to 15. Asha, what's your new AC?
15.
15. Oh, 15 on the dot. And when they hit your armor class, it does actually land. So it is going to take one of its creepy, slimy tentacles, and it is going to wrap itself around you. And you are now grappled, and it's going to squeeze you.
Ah! Jazz, do something. It's got a hold of that.
You do something. I'm in the water.
What? Okay, I'm gonna. Okay. Chill touch.
And you take, Ashley, you take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And it is now Ash's turn. Now, you are grappled, which means you can still cast spells, you just can't hit it with a weapon. But if you want to get out of it, it is a contested strength check against the creature.
Okay, so whoever gets the higher one wins, is that it?
Yes.
Or okay. I'm going to try
and if you want to break out, that is an action, like to try and get out of the tentacles. So that is an action.
I'm not going to waste my time trying. I know it's got me in a death grip. I want to go a little faster. So I'm going to cast Sleep on it.
Okay.
Get this fucker off me.
Fair point. Alrighty. And let me pull up your character. There we go. All right, so since you're touching the creature, you don't have to worry about the range, but you're going to roll me 5d8s, please.
Okay, 5. Okay.
Yep.
And then add, or
Yep. Yeah, add them all together.
24.
24. The creature's grip on you, like its little suctiony cups are stuck to you, and like some of them are stuck to your face, and it's not pleasant. And the tentacle that's holding you like shifts back and forth,
Whoa.
and the creature starts to sink into the water because you've put it to sleep. But darling, it didn't mean to let go of you. And it's now pulling you under the water.
Oh Jesus. Can I throw my my staff in there and just kind of like grab her at?
You can reach your staff in there because it's your turn. You can reach your staff in there, and she can try and grab a hold of your staff if you'd like.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay. And,
I should not catch, but like grab it,
And Val,
grab
give
the
me
staff.
a strength check to stay on your feet because this massive creature's now pulling everybody. 19. You manage to keep your footing. You plant your feet. You kind of like brace your knee up against the side of the boat, and you are holding onto the staff, and Asha's holding onto it, and you are the only thing keeping her above the surface.
Oh, come on! Kick the damn tentacles! Let's go!
And so we're gonna go back to the top of the initiative order, and it is Jazara's turn. Jazara, seeing this horrific nightmare, is going to go back under the boat and pop up again on the other side because she's gonna swim underneath it. And she's gonna start pulling the tentacle and trying to unwrap Asha. It doesn't give like much resistance; they're just stuck to you in like a very creepy
Just pull it.
suctioning way.
I'll have the suction cup blisters. It's better than being dead.
Thanks for joining the fight, Jazz.
Stop it!
And at that point, you hear a very creepy, very distinct roar that roars and echoes through the cavern. And as you look up, a shadowy, nightmarish figure, and whose wings at the ends are made of shadows, flaps its way through. It looks like a cross between like a small dragon and a bat, like if they had a weird demented shadow child. And it's screeching. It's pretty far up there, but it's like circling around some of the stalagmites in your general area.
What was that?
Please go.
That's
Am I still
probably
stuck currently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you are. And so Jazara's helping you pull them off.
Get in, come on, get in.
And Asha, is there anything specific you'd like to do on your turn, or would you like to try and pull yourself up further on the staff?
I wanna try and use my upper body strength, meager as it may be.
All right, so you're trying to pull yourself closer to the boat and out of the water. Go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Please. 15.
15. You manage to pull yourself up. You can get like an arm over the edge of the boat, and Val, you're close enough to like to help like start pulling some of the upper tentacle like things off of her. Jazara,
Off my face!
Ew, it's slimy. Ew.
I really wish people could see this right now. The two of you going like swinging at each other like. And as you're pulling like the tentacle off, and like Ash is just trying really hard to hang on, and Jazara like sinks below like the surface, and like she's pulling like the tentacles off of you from like below, and you do so much labor and so much effort pull the last of this creature off of you, which is good because this creature is heavy as fuck.
Oh, is it done? Jazz, is it done?
Help her into the boat.
Oh, yeah, get the boat.
Jazara like pushing you in from the water, and like Jazara climbs back in the boat. She's like, "Hey, I've got to get out of this cave."
I
Yeah, before whatever that's
touching my butt, but I'm too tired.
No, it's fine. Can we please get out before whatever the hell made that sound finds us and decides it wants us to become lunch?
Give me an oar. And like, so Jazara like, and she tells you both to get down, and like you have cloaks and stuff like that, and you keep them over yourselves. And Jazara reaches like for her quiver, and she goes and like her quiver the one that her uncle had thrown at her. It's green. It's got like gold, almost golden filigree throughout it, and she goes to like reach into one of the side pockets to see if maybe there's like any kind of knife or something that's in it that she can use to give to you guys, because you guys just are a mess. And so she reaches in
I asked her.
as like she's starting to and she's reaching in and she's trying to see if she can give you guys like a physical weapon. And she puts her hand into the pocket of the quiver, and the quiver is like 2.5-ish feet or so, and she puts her hand into it, and then it goes from her fingers to her wrist. She keeps going, it goes to her elbow, and now her whole arm fits into this quiver.
Jazz, is that quiver eating your arm?
I was trying to reach the bottom? There's no bottom of this, and like the movement of her shoulder indicates she's moving her arm around a lot, but the quiver she's still holding it, it's not moving.
What do you mean there's no bottom? Like,
she kind of like looks at the quiver and like she opens the other pockets and she manages to do the same thing, and she reaches her whole hand in there. She's like, give me your quarterstaff, give me your staff.
Okay, please don't lose it. I love this.
She takes your staff and she takes like one of the pockets and she pushes the whole ass staff, which is much longer than this quiver is, and she manages to get the whole thing and her arm in there and then pull it back out.
What the fuck is going on?
Did my uncle give me what did my uncle give me? And like she's looking at this and she's like, it has weird like almost extra dimensional pockets. And she takes like one of her arrows and like she's looking at like the main part of it, and she pushes like the arrow, one of the arrows that are sitting in it, and she like pushes it down and the arrow goes down like further than what should be the bottom, and then it pops back up and sits just like normal. She's like, I have a weird idea. And she takes her bow and she puts it into the quiver, and the entire bow fits in the quiver, so that only like an inch or two is like sticking off the top.
That's different.
Yeah. I've
never seen a quiver do that before.
She's gonna roll an intelligence check. And both of you can roll me Arcana checks if you would like.
Arcana +4.
10.
20.
Natural?
No. 16 + 4.
16 + 4. Jazara doesn't know what the fuck's happening. Asha is probably more confused and like really more weird shit, really. And but you, however, Valkyria, know that this extra dimensional space in like a carry item is known as a bag of holding, and which is a very common D&D item. However, I have reflavored it to mesh with what is called the efficiency quiver, which it's a quiver that has these extra dimensional pockets in it, but instead of just specifically fitting like long items, it fits all kinds of shit. So she has an efficiency quiver, which holds far more than it has any right to.
Jazz, can I see that quiver for a sec?
Go for it. I got a row anyway.
I think I might know what this is.
What is it?
It's an efficiency quiver. Like, it doesn't work like it usually should, because it should only hold long things, but it held your bow, and that's not just long, it's wide. That should not fit in a quiver.
I could put other things in it then, like, and she holds up the oar, like a whole oar, and, and then she kind of looks at you, Val, like, I wonder what it would hold.
Try the oar first before you stick me in there, please.
Fair point. And she does try it with the oar, and it fits the whole oar, and it comes back out.
Your uncle's been holding out.
I mean, I fucking guess. Jeez. And I will tell you what the efficiency quiver does. The quiver has 3 compartments that connect to an extra dimensional space that allows the quiver to hold numerous items while never weighing more than 2 pounds. The shortest compartment can hold up to 60 arrows, bolts, or similar objects. The mid-sized compartment can hold up to 18 javelins or similar objects. And the longest compartment, which is the normal one, can hold up to 6 long objects such as bows, quarterstaffs, and spears. And this one I reflavored a little bit so that it doesn't necessarily just have to be like long things. It's just I can put pretty much anything that'll fit through the holes into it.
All
Maybe
right.
that's how Legolas never ran out of arrows.
Right.
Yeah, I'd really like not to run out of arrows when we fight these things.
Start stocking it up.
And you guys spend an interesting time in the rest of your time on this ocean lake thing, and pondering on the interesting things you've found, the horrific things you've seen, the things you've almost gotten eaten by, in all honesty. And
Squid anyone?
after several days, an exhausting time, and truly an unknown future ahead of you, you make it to the exit to the surface. And that's where we'll end our session.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And you're all now level 2.
Yay! You took your ears off.
I did. I heard though. Level
Okay.
2. Yay! I need air. It's so hot.
You are all now level 2. Jazara levels up to level 3, which is amazing because now she gets her subclass, which is
feel
great.
that air.
And I
Level 2.
will tell you guys about level 2 for both of you. I'll just give you a little rundown and I'll send you guys the rest.
Cool.
It's not going to be like hugely different for you guys.
Right.
But you're not level 1 anymore, so yay!
Yay!
What did you say about my redstone? It ignores material components to spells,
Yes.
but you said a D4, a D8. What?
I will send it to you. I'll send you the
Okay.
information for
Okay.
it. So,
Okay.
because it is an item I actually made that I've attached to your character sheet. And all
Okay,
that, so I'll
okay.
send that to you. And I'll send you yours too, Aaron.
I'm just
Awesome.
making the notes in my papers so I can reference it.
No worries. So you're now at level 2, and this is where I'm going to give you homework.
Oh, okay.
You are going to have, because level 3 will come up sooner rather than later. So I'm going to give you homework and stuff. Like, I will message it to you, but as a sorcerer, you get what is called meta magic, and you are going to have something called sorcery points. And you get to do
Ooh.
some funky ass shit with your sorcery points.
All right.
So you now at level 2 have 2 sorcery points.
Okay.
2 sorcery points. Boom.
And
2
you'll gain
sorcery.
more of these as you level up and stuff.
Okay.
Like, you'll get more of these. But you can use them you have them and you regain them back like every long rest.
Okay.
And so you can never have more sorcery points than what's shown in a table. There's a table for you, and I'll send you all this. It allows for like flexible casting. You can use your sorcery points to gain additional spell slots. You can sacrifice spell slots to gain sorcery points. And these all count towards your meta magic, and they'll let you do funky things like
Okay.
duplicating a spell and casting it twice, or
Play
like
that funky magic.
doing a silent spell where it's completely silent, or ones where you don't have to like do movements and stuff like that. But
Is
at
it
the
coincidence
moment,
she said silent when we were making noise?
Right.
but one of the things you can do is you have 2 sorcery points. So at second level, you have 2 sorcery points. You can trade those in essentially, and you can gain 1 level 1 spell slot back.
Oh, okay.
So that's what you can do with it for now. Next level, you're gonna have a lot more shit you can do with it, and you're gonna probably use it for a lot of other things. But at this moment, that's what you can do with that.
Don't I get my Hellhound at level 3?
Level 6.
6. Okay. Sorry.
Missy's
Jumping the
just
gun
gonna-
there.
Missy's just gonna keep moving it back. Moving it back. No, I said 12.
You'll be happy to know your hit points have gone up.
My hit points.
What were they before?
My
8
Sad.
or something?
They were
Like something
sad.
very sad, like 8.
max HP, yeah, 8.
Now they're 14.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm not that squishy anymore.
Much less squishy now. But I'll send you the stuff about your what you can do right now with your meta magic, and then I'll send you other stuff about what you'll have to research for the future, because there's a couple decisions you're gonna have to make.
Okay.
Now for Asha,
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
we're gonna level you up to level 2.
Woo, woo.
All right, you have attained a couple of new areas of magic.
Mhm.
You have an ability called Channel Divinity Turn Undead, which allows you to basically like say a prayer, and it helps you get rid of zombies and other undead creatures.
Zombie killer.
Zombie killer. This is also where you gain the ability called Twilight Sanctuary, and it allows you can cast you can use Channel Divinity, which is an ability of yours, and you can as an action you present your holy symbol, and which in this case can be your shield or the one you wear. And a sphere of twilight emanates from you. The sphere is centered on you and has a 30-foot radius and is filled with dim light. The sphere moves with you and lasts for 1 minute or until you are incapacitated or die. Whenever a creature, including you, ends its turn in the sphere, you can grant that creature one of the following benefits. You can grant that creature temporary hit points of 1d6 plus your cleric level. So in this case, it'd be 1d6 plus 2. Or you can end an effect of either charmed or frightened on a creature. So if Valkyria is for some reason had like charmed person cast on her and she ends her turn within that 30 feet of you, you can choose to have it dissipate.
Okay.
And I'll send this stuff to you too.
Okay.
The thing to know about how temporary hit points are different than regular hit points is the character will lose them after a certain amount of time.
Okay.
So once that turn is up, and like say they got a bonus of 4 points, once that time frame is up, they will lose those 4 points. So if they only had 3 hit points, they're down.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, and you, young lady, have now 19 hit points.
Woohoo!
Look at that.
So everybody's grown up a little bit. So I have to make an adjustment.
And do I have any homework or just her?
No, just her. You won't have homework until you get to 3rd level.
That's
fine. So yeah, keep track of your new items, your new ACs, and your new hit points and all that stuff. And all of that is in. I've attached these new items to your character sheets on D&D Beyond, so you can also reference them at any point and see how like they affect you in different ways.
Cool.
Sweet.
Because some of them have like interesting little magical effects. And all right, I think we're good. We're gonna finish session 1 here. The party is now levels 2 and 3, and they have officially made it to the surface. So thank you guys for joining us for our very first session 1. And I hope you guys stick around to see what else our party gets into as they navigate, for the very first time in depth, the surface world of Exandria. So stick around, find out, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.
Tune in next week for more fuckery because we have some serious questions and concerns. Guano.